Ember instead of Em8er or Mater or the various ways that people have pronounced it, but it's EM-8er, which is the planetary designation of the home world that the Gate Striders have settled upon to terraform. But unfortunately, when they started terraforming it, bad things happened, and an invading force of kaiju was opened up through a portal, a dimensional portal, and of course, open warfare happens. All right, so we had to rejigger a couple things and prep for this. We do have a presentation for you today. It is the new reissue of the bunny suit. I told you before that we did the big waifu send-off last stream. We are doing I told you there'd be one more waifu that we're going to show you, and that is the reissue of the bunny girl. And we did something a little different. We were doing well, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. What do you see on screen right now? This is Marigold. This is the latest skin that we offer in our monthly patron program, which supports our game servers and other costs as we go forward for the art revamp. And this skin is done by none other than the fabulous artist known as Cute Sexy Robots, who is a not safe for work artist, but who is our principal waifu artist on Ember. And this skin is available for just $1. We are running a promotion. I don't want to forget to mention that. And that promotion will not last for much longer because we're now in October. This started on September 20th. And you can subscribe for $1 to get this skin, which will be in a playable form for the final launch of the game, or maybe sooner. We've worked on some skins sooner. For example, if you want to see how our skins translate into 3D, I can go ahead and pull up this render here. This is in Unreal Engine 5. It is running real time. We are running 4K textures. We will run lower resolution in the game, obviously. We don't want to bog systems down, especially with GPU prices being the way they are. But we want to show you that we're able to translate the concept art that we talk about into actual realized skins that are in-game, running real-time. So that's what it'll end up looking at, and Marigold is the latest one. And remember when I told you that we were running a promotion for $1 because we wanted to reach 1,500 subscribers, which would unlock the heavy playable mech for the playable mockup, that you'd actually be able to get in this thing and stomp around Titanfall 2 style. That has happened. We have reached 1,553 subscribers. So thank you very much for that, and congratulations to all of you. This is happening. Now, we do want to continue to do this. So I did mention on stream, if we get to I forget what I said, but I think a realistic goal would be 1,750, and we'll put the bike in for the M3 founders. So that's about 230 more subscribers. I would like to reach 3,000 before we hit Kickstarter. That would be really great. But one of the things we need to do for Kickstarter is to prepare the Kickstarter movie. And this is a pretty good segue, ladies and gentlemen, because we have no idea how to make a Kickstarter movie in Unreal. Or I should say, we had no idea. And so we needed to start to do some experiments in order to prepare. And since we're doing a bunny reissue, we thought, why don't we prepare by using the Unreal Movie Maker in Unreal Engine to render our real-time graphics of the reissued Bunny Girl, which is going to be in stores here in a moment on stream. Our intrepid web programmer, Miss Amelia, is preparing for that. And why don't we use it to create a little movie sequence just to sort of like dip our toes in and get familiar with how to put this together. Now, obviously, we did do a little bit of sequencer here. So if I show you the Neko video, this is in Unreal Engine running. Basically, sequencer is how they put movies together in Unreal. You can move the camera around, things like this. But you notice that aside from the background, nothing's really moving here. And so we wanted to take it a step further. So I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Are you guys ready to see the Bunny Rock project we have put together for the reissue of the bunny skin in the general store? Let me hear it. All right, well, I'm not going to show it to you yet because I forgot to tweet the link. So I'm going to tweet it right now. I'm such a tease. Give me a second here. About to reveal the new Bunny Girl skin for Em8er on Twitch. Live now. Grums Em8er. No. Twitch.tv. I should really prepare these ahead of time, right? But we don't think that far ahead. Thinking ahead, that's for the weak. The bold, the brave, they just boldly tread 1 foot at a time into the abyss. All right, so I'm going to tweet this out. And let's see if we can get some people in here. All right, and like I said, this is the last waifu focused stream. We are shifting gears to other things, some of which I can mention here, some of which I can't, but obviously frames. We're going to be talking about frames. And for the Kickstarter movie, we are putting together a bunch of assets, but I just want to get a couple more people in here before we unveil the bunny. The bunny is available. This is going to be an epic skin. An epic skin means it's only available twice a year. Obviously, Easter is one of the times. And we would like to do a bunny skin because bunny skins are frowned upon now. I believe Genshin Impact had to remove their Bunny Girl event because of complaints in China. Well, we don't care. So we decided to have bunnies. And for some reason, bunny art is trending on Twitter and amongst Japanese concept artists. I don't know why. I don't know if a new character came out that was bunny focused or anything like that. But for some reason, maybe you guys know. I don't know. But bunnies are back in. Oh, it was Honkai Impact, not Genshin. Sorry, yes, Honkai Impact. Honkai Impact. That's where they had to remove the bunny event. And of course, you know, with WoW's censorship going on, they're removing flirts. They're removing a bunch of stuff out of there. Stuff that's even like partially innuendo, which breaks my heart. You know, having worked on the original game, that's something that I think you can go too far, and you know, removing stuff from fictional stuff is not equivalent to addressing your real world problems, and it's sort of like punishing the players for the wrongdoings of people at the company, right? So that is just not cool. All right, I think we got enough people here. We're gonna go ahead and show you what we've done for the bunny skin. Again, this is sort of like our practice moment for getting more familiar with Sequencer, making movies in Unreal. So I'm going to go ahead and cue that up right here. We got Discord here. Obviously, if you are not following us on Discord, please jump into Discord where we have raffles and giveaways every stream, including today's. So you'll want to definitely follow the link that the moderators will post on Twitch chat and join our Discord server. Conversely, if you are on our Discord server, you need to join our Twitch channel and do a follow there so that we can get you notified whenever we stream. I'm planning to do a different stream slot. I'm going to vary it up a little bit. I'm probably going to occasionally do maybe like a Tuesday afternoon one for a different time zone, just so that we can reach other people. It looks like my VTuber UI is showing again. How embarrassing. Double tap to show menu. No, I refuse. Okay, there we go. All right. Are you ready for Bunny Girl reissue? Let me hear it. I don't hear anything. Are you ready? And gosh, I hope sound plays. If sound doesn't play in this, you'll have to let me know. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Show me the bunny. Show me the bunny.
All right, I'm going to mute this while I talk over it. This is the bunny animation, and I thought Jedi would get a kick out of this, one of our moderators, Jedi, because Jedi is a guitarist, and I was thinking of Jedi the entire time we were making this. This is unique. This skin is the first skin that comes with an emote. You do get this guitar, and you do get the strumming emote to go along with it. This is the first time we've done it. This is the first time we've included an emote with the skin. And this is a peerless grade skin. So what does that mean? That means it has a bunch of options, mesh options, in addition to different materials that you can apply, right? So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. I don't know if you noticed the amps, but the amps actually have some of CSR's waifu art on them. We have a lot of physics on here, yes. I call it a conversation starter. When I post this on Twitter, I think it's gonna start some conversations. We also have Razer Chroma backgrounds, obviously, and not really integrated with Razer or anything. We just did this set really quick for this little setup. But you can see here that we are getting the animations hooked up to the characters. We are sequencing the camera. I think we've got some pretty cool moves there. That guitar shot is one of my favorite, where it's looking down the neck of the guitar as she's strumming. Yeah, I know, Please Ban Me. You know, I was worried about posting that today. Please Ban Me says, is this a porn game or a mech game? I'm confused. And I was really worried. I was like, I gotta tell people this is the last time we're gonna do this with waifus. But I'm probably lying. But let me clarify that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pivot to mechs, right? So what's gonna happen is that the next sort of sequencer thing you see, the next sort of renders you see, are going to be about the mechs in the game. Because what is Em8er about? It's about mechs versus kaiju. Those are the most important things. But we'll continue to have waifu. Waifu is the third leg of this feature set. Not Wirt's third leg. That was removed from the game. Thank you, Giga, for sending that link. I can't believe they removed Wirt's third leg. But waifus are the third leg of Em8er, and husbandos, of course. And the joke's probably better with husbandos than waifus, unless you cross them, which does happen. How fun is this? Look at this. Ronan was like, I think there's too much jiggle on the camera work. I'm like, wait a second. I don't think we're focusing on the same jiggle. Ronan, you're talking about camera work. I don't think that's the jiggle people are talking about.
I'm trying to keep the focus in the right place. That's all.
It's hard to film left-handed. Oh my God, sorry. My wife saw this and she loved it. Especially, you can't see it when she does the Pete Townsend windmill thing. I don't know if any of you guys remember Pete Townsend, right? But as a tribute to Pete Townsend of The Who, we put that in there. And there's this massive side jiggle. And my wife's like, oh, that's awesome. Keep it. And so we kept it. Yeah, my wife has to approve all the jiggle. So that's the rule. All right, so I want to talk about... So what's happening now is that we are releasing this skin right now onto the website in the general store. And for all of you who subscribe, if you were a subscriber during the time the bunny skin came out, you are good to go. You have the emote, you have the guitar, you have the peerless grade skin options, which I'm about to show you here. All right? And someone asked, is the jiggle hand animated or is it physics? It was hand animated for this. When we do walks and stuff, I think we'll use general physics simulation in game. But for, specific emotes and things, I think we'll do the jiggle. And I expect a lot of people to... you can't see it too clearly here. I should release another render because there's thigh jiggle too, guys. So we went all out. So there's... everything's jello. Everything is jello. So I want to emphasize, if you are already a subscriber, and you look in your inventory and you have the bunny skin, you are getting all this, all right? You're getting the guitar, you're getting the guitar emote, and you're getting the mesh options I'm about to show you. You do not need to purchase it. And because you're a subscriber, thank you for believing in us. You got this skin for $7.95. But we also make this skin available twice a year in the store at the full price for all the options and the emote, and that's $34.95, and that will be available. It should be available right now in the store. I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually a turntable animation that we put in there. I'm going to check right now, make sure that we have put that in the store. Okay, make live, please. And she is typing back, is it live? Yep, 15 seconds. 15 seconds, folks. Anytime now, this will be live in the store. Okay, so let's talk about the options you get here. Let me go ahead and stop the video. And let's go ahead and, let's see. Bunny. Okay, so. Skin system. All right, let's talk about rarities. So, not disco. Why? There we go. So the skins are arranged in rarities in Em8er, and we're only talking about pilots here. The way that frames are going to work is actually going to be different, and I'll be talking about that at a later stream when we talk about frames. We're talking just about the pilot skins here, and this will probably apply to pets as well. But for now, oh, you're getting a 500 error? Okay. Maybe one of the moderators can let Miss Amelia know that there's a 500 error, but we'll see how it is. Oh, on reactivating subs. Okay, that's very specific. All right, so definitely let them know. And so the skins come in different rarities. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and unique. And what this means is this dictates their availability as drops in the game, as well as on average when they appear in the store. 2 ways to get all skins, except for unique skins, which are usually only included in things like newcomer packs and things like that. 2 ways to get skins. One is as drops in the game, where they drop as core grade skins, and I'll explain that in a minute. Or you can purchase them on the store, and like you can today for the Bunny Girl, and that unlocks the Peerless grade skin, and I'll talk about that in a second. And so the number of times that they're available in the world to craft or in the store to buy, not necessarily at the same time, is if it's common, it's always available. You're always going to be able to grind for it. If it's uncommon, it's 6 times a year. If it's rare, it's going to be roughly 4 times a year. If it's epic, it's going to be roughly twice a year that it's available. And if it's legendary, it's only going to be available once per year. These would be things like either really rare skins or holiday skins and things like this. And if it's a unique, that tends to be in the backer packs that we have for the different milestones. Those are the ones that you can't ever get again. Some things like the bike, for example, are an M3 goal that you can't ever get again. And that is something that would be classified as unique. So that's how rarities work. The skin options vary a little bit different. So if you have a core grade skin, there's 3 grades. This is what what drops in the game initially, right? You get a single color, but it is upgradable either in game or via purchase at any time to higher grades. Now, this is a question I get a lot: is if I get the skin and it's an epic skin that's only available twice a year, can I upgrade it at any time? And the answer is yes. You can upgrade a skin that you already have either in-game by going out and crafting the materials and investing the materials in your outfit to upgrade it, or you can outright purchase an upgrade on the store. And this is the launch plan, right? So this is the way that we handle cosmetics. So you get a core color with this, and that's what you get with the core skin. And then when you upgrade, the next step up is Artisan, and Artisan lets you basically change the color variations. So it's a little more detail on the normal maps. We might have a different set of default materials, and then you can change the different colors of the skin here. And again, the way you do that is by crafting in the world. Or by if you purchased it in the cosmetic store, because that's the only thing we do. We have no mandatory subscription. We do have a subscription. Words are hard. We do have a subscription for skins. Yes, that's what I meant to say. You do have a subscription that's optional, and it's a buy once thing. So Em8er is you buy the game once, and then you just play. And if you want to buy cosmetics to support us, you can. If you want to support additional feature development and DLC, we're going to have crowdfunding rounds for that. If you want to go ahead and sign up for a subscription to help us in other ways, you can do that too. But you don't have to do any of that. And this was a model that people were wondering, gee, is this going to work or not? And then New World happened to launch with this exact model to great success, and I think everyone's going to really like it. So we're not going to be a full AAA price game. We're going to be at the high end of indie, and New World has shown that this model tends to work very well. All right, so after Artisan, you can upgrade to one more variant, and that would be Peerless. And Peerless gives you other options, like you can do, different variations. You notice that there's different materials you can assign. You can see a gold shader there on the right, so it's not just colors, but actually sort of like PBR materials, anywhere from metallics to this is a waifu game, so we might as well say it, leather or latex or that type of thing. And remember, you can mute any skin you don't like in the game. We have a filter that keeps everything sort of in theme, in world. If you don't like waifus in your game, if you don't like silly stuff like beer hats or wacky meme type things, you can filter that out in your settings, or you can do it on a per skin basis, character by character, and then I think that's pretty cool too. And we're the only game that's so far announced plans to do that. All right, so the variants include things like you can have different boot variants, you can have different belt variants, etc., etc. So all of you guys should be pretty familiar with the skin system we've come up with. And let me show you what they are for. All right, so you get that emote basically in game, and you get the guitar. Amps not included, stage not included. And then, in addition to that, we have some options. So, first of all, there are a couple different tail options. We have the regular fluffy tail, and then we have two different varieties of mecha tails, because we are a mecha game. You have a sort of like a French Renaissance deco style in the right, and you have something that's much more Em8er tech-like on the left. Obviously, this is one color right now, but with the Peerless grade, it would have glows and things in different color zones. We just didn't have time to UV unwrap these. It's not our priority right now. Our priority is moving on to the mechs, and so we're like, hey, this is good enough for now to get the idea across, but you get the idea that the suit comes with 3 different variants of tails. In addition to that, you get the side tie. So basically, this is a sort of like additional little accessory you can put on your suit. Some bunny suits come with side ties, some do not. So that's an option we wanted to include for you if you have the Peerless grade skin, which you do if you have the subscription, or if you purchased it in the general store today. This is the version you will be getting with these options, and you can turn them on and off. And of course, where's the most? Okay. Then you get a variety of bows. And let me turn myself off here. So you can see there's a mechanical bow all the way on the right. There's the standard schoolgirl tie in the middle. And on the left, you have a bow tie. It's a little bit hidden by her hair, but I hope you can see that. And we have 2 variants of ear. We have the regular ears, and we have the mecha ears on the right. And we also have the carrot in the hair headband, and we also have these yellow bows. Now, it may occur to you that if you took the black bunny suit and you add the yellow bows and you took that bow tie and you made it yellow, you might have something that looks familiar to you. I don't know. I can't say it, but maybe you guys can. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Yep, some of you get it. Some of you get it. Yep, I'm a big fan, and I can't say it, but there are mesh options to go that way should you so choose. All right, so those are heads and bows. Let's see. And then we have a couple of color variants, right? So we have, let me see here. Okay, so obviously you'll have artisan level color enhancements, so you can have a red variant here, or you could go ahead and do blue. Blue is the color I'm seeing all over Twitter right now. It's got to be a character or something going around in Japan. And then you can also have the classic sort of tuxedo look, the black bunny outfit. And I forgot to mention stocking options too. So we didn't have the time to render those, but if you look at your subscription plan, you see that you have the tighter weave fishnets. These are the looser weave ones, and then we're also going to have sort of like regular stockings as well. I'm going to try to get one thing up here running on Twitter right now. We do have a turntable view for you. Here we go. If I do this and I control F it, there you go. So, and then if I hit properties and I loop it. Okay, so there is, if you were to say, get those variants in place, obviously our bow tie is black here and it should be yellow. That's a little mistake we made, but that's okay. You get the idea here. And by the way, this is another emote that you'll get with the bunny suit. I forgot to mention, you will have a drink serving emote here because we're triggering all the game journalists here. How dare you have bunnies? And then it's going to be how dare you have bunnies serving drinks. So we're going to get in so much trouble, guys. We're so busted. Oh my gosh. We didn't actually animate this one, but we will. But so there's two emotes with this. I totally forgot. You get the guitar emote and you get the drink emote. Not only that, we are working on a standalone guitar emote pack, which will include additional guitar and singing emotes that will be for male and female avatars that will also be posted to the general store a little bit later. So if you want to be a rock star guitarist, and this was really inspired by just seeing the Songbirds perform in Final Fantasy XIV. I had such a good time with that I went in there and I said, we got to have guitar emotes because I love to play guitar. I mean, I'm a horrible guitarist, right? But I love to play guitar. And Jedi plays guitar, and actually one of our artists who worked on the Bunny Girl plays guitar, and so we definitely wanted to do it. And actually, that was when we were doing the animation. So when we were doing this animation, we were like, well, we know we have to give up some realism, and she's not really playing the chords or anything like that, but at least her, she's got her fingers in an E-shaped power chord there. So at least we got that in there. Now, obviously, we can't do everything to the same fidelity as real guitar playing, but there will be a guitar emote pack as well. Oh, and misplaced bass. Awesome. I would like to get music into Em8er. Ever since Asheron's Call, where you could play together as musicians, and Final Fantasy, you can play together as musicians, I would love to someday add a music system to Em8er. No plans for that right now, obviously, but the emotes are there. We're laying the foundation. You can hit a drum off key, Salte. Okay, combined with my guitar playing, it sounds like we're about the same level. We could make a band to make everyone cry. All right, so like I said, this is now available in the store. I believe it is. Let me double check. We live yet? Yeah, bards are so cool in Final Fantasy. All right, it's live. We're live. You can get this skin, this emote, and the drink serving emote that will come with it at launch. This is now available in the store. If you were a subscriber at the time of the original bunny skin, you do not need to do anything. You already get this. If you missed it, this is your chance to get it. This is only going to be available for 2 weeks in the store. Then it goes back into the vault It is an epic skin, so it's available twice a year. I think you can guess that Easter is probably the next time it'll come around. Did you? Okay, and I'm talking to web programmer. So, 500 error on. So I asked the moderators to send our web programmer that. I'm just checking right now with our web programmer to see if they see that problem on resubscribe. Okay, so if you're having a problem with resubscribing, if you're getting a 500 error, if you're trying to become a subscriber again, they are looking at that right now. Miss Amelia is looking at that right now. All right, we are back. All right, so let's see. I'm going to put up Discord. Okay, so, and I'm going to turn down Bunny Rock, or just keep Bunny Rock right about there. All right, so what's next for Ember? Let's talk about that. So one thing we were doing is we upgraded the engine to Unreal 5, and everything you see here is rendered in Unreal 5. So these are our in-game models. The guitar is Nanite, which is a new Unreal 5 technology. And seems to be holding up for individual props. We tried it with terrain, and we had a problem with people's system performance being low on terrain. And that concerned me, and so we're not going to do Nanite for terrain going forward because of the performance issues. I almost said personality issues. I don't know what I was thinking. So, but we are now checking to see if Nanite works for, like you said, side building components or things like props, like the guitar and things like this, because it would save us time. It would save us time not to have to create a low poly and bake it out. So, yeah. So, the next thing you're going to see is when we do these frame tests, we're going to initially do the frames as Nanite frames, and we're going to see how the performance is. I'm going to revert the terrain back to the original height map stuff, just as a baseline comparison, so we can see what the impact of Nanite is. So the other thing that we're doing is that we are going to be making the light and the heavy playable in the playable mockup. And we have plans for different mobility modes there. So let's review. Let's review where we are with the frames. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about game stuff. This is game stuff too, but we're not just about waifus. And this was the last sort of big waifu production we're doing before moving on to frames. All right. So let's see here. Okay. Goodbye for now, Bunny Rock. Let's see if I can do a quick review of the frames that we will be working on for Ember. Okay. So one of the first frames we will be working on is the light frame. So the light frame has optional melee power fists that you can strap onto it. It is a melee-capable frame, and it is much more character-centric. So it reflects your character. You can wear most of the outfits with your frame because the armor pieces are really only on the legs and the arms and the backpack. Everything else would be whatever skin you're wearing. So you could literally be in... The bunny suit would work with this. You could be in the bunny suit, and you could be wearing your light frame. So this is, yeah. Oh boy, we got a bunch of text from Psychtooth in Discord. Says Mecha in general has kind of been on a slump in recent years. Most of the stuff which comes out in Japan doesn't in the West because of copyright. We haven't had an armored core in a while. And only two things we have is BattleTech or Titanfall related. So there really isn't anything to do with, well, big stompy mechs versus big nasty kaiju. In my honest opinion, having it, for that matter, there are not many games that offer that. Not even sure if there's a Pacific Rim video game. Why? In my honest opinion, having it as an MMO without having it would be having it as an MMO would be over ambitious. Indie should never attempt an MMO without some serious cash. I mean, enough to hire at least 50 people, but with the support of a publisher willing to dump in a couple million. But that is dependent on the style of game. If it's a 2D isometric game, yeah, that's doable with a small team, but who knows? Well, actually, one thing I found is that with modern tools and modern art tools, we have been able to do much more on Ember than we have with Firefall. Firefall, it was all custom tools, custom engine, everything else, and it would take a long time and a lot of people to make something. We are now realizing that that is not the case anymore, and that we can do a lot more with a small team on Ember. The other thing is, this isn't the only crowdfunding for Ember. Remember that Ember is milestone, or what we say, feature-based funding. So there will be additional funding rounds all throughout development that fund different aspects of the game and help determine which launches first. So the game is sort of like a game where you guys are the publishers. You guys are the publishers approving each milestone, and we are going out and implementing those milestones. The other thing is, thanks to the spectacular launch of New World, the interest in non-theme park sandbox MMOs is at an all-time high. And so you're going to see a lot of investment. Now, while I don't want to take any investors at all, and that's completely up to you guys and the people that'll be coming on board on Kickstarter, I think there is tremendous interest to crowdfund more sandbox-style MMOs thanks to New World. You know, people used to come in here and ask me, why isn't your game more theme park? Why don't you have a focus on raiding? Why don't you have a focus on questing? Why are you doing dynamic events? Why are you doing so much crafting? And I said, trust me, it'll work. And this is kind of the vision that we have for the game. We need to break the meta. Well, New World has shown that that works. So I'm very hopeful for the Kickstarter doing well because of that. I'm also very hopeful because of our funding model does not stop with one Kickstarter. And while we don't intend to take investors if we don't have to, we can license our game to different regions of the world. And those include up front. And that is a possibility for Ember as well. I have a lot of experience fundraising the old-fashioned way through publishers and venture capital. I have raised more money than most people in gaming. I don't want to do it that way again. Having been down that road and seeing what can happen with your investors wanting to make WoW because that's all they think will work as an MMO, and you wanting to make something completely different, that can quickly lead to a break in the honeymoon and problems down the road, as we saw with Firefall. So I really want to do this with crowdfunding, which is why we've taken the milestone-based approach. Also, being a sandbox game without having to create hundreds of hours of theme park content also greatly lowers the cost of development. By focusing on dynamic events, by focusing on systems rather than static content, we think that we can achieve a lot with a more modest MMO budget. Now, it's still going to take a lot to make this game. I'm not saying it won't, but I am saying that the days of it being these giant theme park things where unless you have $500 million to play with, you can't make an MMO, that's not true anymore. I'm finding that that's not true anymore. And that if you go sandbox, if you make decisions like we're making, if you go procedural, which we're doing for a couple of things, things become much more doable. Also, the rising interest in sandbox-style MMOs, thanks to the unparalleled success of New World. I don't know if you guys realize how successful New World is. Like, you can be, I mean, people are like, oh yeah, I guess it was a successful MMO launch. No, it was the most successful MMO launch ever. Ever. More than WoW. More than Guild Wars. More than anything. More than single-player games. Okay? Look at you're talking 900,000 concurrent players. And this is not a free-to-play game. This is you pay $40. Or is it $40, $45? And you go play. That has made it the world's most successful MMO launch ever. Okay? For a sandbox MMO, not a theme park MMO. There's no real questing. The dungeons are pretty meh. That is pretty amazing. And people are digging the game. Whether or not it's going to last long enough, that's another question. For me personally, the theme is not appealing, but the theme appeals to many people. So let me just point that out. This is good for MMOs, and this is good for Em8er. All right, that was a long sidetrack. Why don't we get back to frames? But I think it was an important question to answer, so I thank you for asking that and presenting it that way. Also, Mechs versus Kaiju is kind of niche. I used to worry about that, but I think that the way indie games survive is by addressing niche markets that are underserved. There isn't a good Armored Core out there on the horizon, that we know of. There isn't going to be a Titanfall 3. They've already come out and said that Apex is making them so much money they don't want to do that. But then again, I said, okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll fill that niche. But then I looked at New Worlds, and New Worlds' theme is really, I think, super niche. It's like 1600 conquistador stuff going out there. It's not even pirates. Like you'd think, oh, pirates would be mass market. No, it's not pirates. I mean, it's got some pirates aspect. It's pretty narrow. And to some, it's pretty bland because it's not high fantasy, right? The traditional wisdom was that you got to go high fantasy or you're not going to, do that. Yeah, it's a colonizer simulator. And so is Em8er. Em8er is about terraforming the planet, right? It's about capturing territory from the Sihu and holding it as they try to capture your territory. So I think that that's going to have a lot of legs, and where people who we were looking to for licensing Em8er for different regions, they're going to have a lot of interest in a game like this. So I am very glad that New World is doing as well as it does. I hope it continues to do well. That would be fantastic for us. All right, so the light frames. Taking over the planet. Are we the baddies? It's morally ambiguous with a lot of jiggle. You're going to see our website change too. As we get more frame stuff on there and kaiju stuff on there, you're going to see equal emphasis amongst the three. Right now, the website's very waifu focused, but that will be changing over time. It's going to be an equal sort of distribution between the three. And waifu stuff works. I mean, look at Project Eve, right? By one of my favorite Korean concept artists of all time as the art director or character designer. I think character designer, not art director. Doing very well, getting a lot of attention. And if you look at the movement set that they have for Project Eve and for Nier Automata, obviously, I'd like to get some of that into the light frames. We're an MMO. We don't play exactly like a single-person action-oriented game, but I would like to get a little bit of that flavor, just a little bit of that flavor into there, starting with this light frame. Project Eve, not Project Steve. Yes. Okay, so Critical Plays asks, do you plan to have a big advertisement drive on launch like New World did, or do you plan to be more modest? Look, I believe that the way you need to market your game is not by buying zillions of ads everywhere. People have no idea how much that costs. That literally costs millions of dollars. The right way to do it, that I've said since Firefall, and that we started to do with Firefall, that we got a lot of flack from, even from our internal marketing team, was to market through streamers, through Twitch personalities, YouTube personalities, and things like this. And we did that for Firefall, and it was very effective. But they still wanted to spend even more on things like banner ads, of all things. And now, of course, everybody knows banner ads. You just block them. You don't even see them anymore. Now, for Em8er, we don't have that kind of marketing budget. So for the Kickstarter, we're going to rely on you guys all streaming. And we want to do streaming events where we have a bunch of people hop on so we can get a bunch of people watching and participating in streams, and a bunch of you guys showing the playable mock-up, which people on the Kickstarter won't have access to until they become a backer, right? And we have a list of streamers. Maven has been putting together a list of streamers for us for a long time about streaming stuff for Em8er. And while we can't reach the biggest names because you actually have to pay them to do it, I think we can reach a lot of the smaller ones. And so we're going for a lot of smaller streamers working together versus a couple of giant ones. And that may work out better for the smaller streamer, because the smaller streamer wants to give away things like cosmetic keys and boost viewership and things like this. And they don't want to have to compete with the Asmongols and everybody out there who are sucking up all the viewers it gives them more air to breathe. So I think we've got a good pitch. If you're a small streamer and you want to participate in an event, then that would be good. Yes, I heard about the data breach, Zingo. I heard about the data breach. I made jokes about it on Twitter, and I have already changed my passwords and keys and all that stuff. And as you know, we're not a monetized Twitch channel, so we make absolutely zero on Twitch. Sai says, "Final." I'm reading Discord chat as well as Twitch. Let me read a little Twitch chat because I've been focusing on Discord here. Then I'll get to Sai's question about Final Fantasy 14 storyline. So if you have a question in Twitch, let me know. Be happy to answer it. Yeah, it's the Nautical says, "I've got a few small and medium streamers I mod for, and I know who've turned on to Em8er. They'd love to stream, so don't ignore the small guys." No, the plan is to focus on the small guys, but to do it sort of all at once, that we can trend up on Twitch, and to promote everybody, and because we don't have big guys in there, there's more people to go around to all the small and medium streamers. I don't get the meme. I don't get the meme, DDP262. Mark, how many times have you touched a ladder? I'm short, but I don't know what the meme refers to. Do what Genshin did and make a massive 3D model of your waifu and put it in Times Square. Did they really? Did they really do that? That's awesome. I gotta look that up now. It's not a meme. I'm ridiculous. Okay. I haven't touched a ladder in at least a week. And even then, it's only a step ladder in the kitchen pantry. All right, Sai was talking about the positivity of Final Fantasy XIV story, and I assume you mean the impact on the community. I'd like to see that. I mean, for those of you who followed the book so far, another benefit of becoming a monthly patron for $1 is you get drafts of the novel chapters as they get written. And you see there is a positive theme in there. Like, it's very much, a band of young adventurers who are stuck in the middle of a situation and have to figure their way out of it. It's got a lot of anime themes, but I wouldn't say it's got an anime ending. So I would say it's more positive than that. All right, let me take a little drink break here. Join me for a beverage, if you will, because I'm about to do one. And grab something to drink. And cheers, everybody, to today's stream. That feels better. Oh, you want to get your Red Bull, Zingo? Okay. Join us on the next sip. Okay. As Scott Adams says, doesn't that feel better already? Doing something all together here. All right. So this is the light frame. The light frame, like I said, you get to wear your skin and you get to wear the armor on top of it. And we're going to attempt this as a nanite build, not because we're trying to push zillions of polygons, but because building for nanite means we don't have to build it twice. For most games, you got to build everything twice. You got to build the high poly, and then you got to build the low poly, and then you got to do what's called a bake between them. So that's going to be the big experiment for this. The light frame has optional melee arms that you can attach. Obviously, it's got a backpack, and it has hard light wings. So these are not physical glider wings. These are sort of like panes of energy that look like wings that project out and that glide. And this is a high mobility frame. Like photon wings. Yeah, something, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people call it hard light. All right, so that's the light frame. And then you have the medium frame. And the medium frame is the replacement for what is currently in the build. What is currently in the build is a medium frame, but it's a little bigger than we intended, and we're making this a little bit tighter around the character. And it has physical wings, glider wings, and it has the sort of movement abilities that you see right now in the build, in the playable mockups that you can get if you become a monthly patron for $1, starting for $1 this month, and you get the marigold skin for it. plug in that again. You can go to the moderators have a link. Actually, mods, can you post two links? One is, I want to emphasize that we are still doing a subscription drive. We're at 1553 subscribers right now, and you get the Marigold skin for $1, which is our tribute to Battle Angel Alita. It's our own take on that type of thing. Part-time Jedi is also asking. Yeah, I'll get to your question in a sec, Jedi. But this is the skin that's for $1 right now, and then we're also doing the bunny skin. Right, so this comes with an emote. It comes with a guitar. It comes with another emote for serving drinks, which is the meme right now on Japanese Twitter. Everyone's drawing that, and we get the mesh variants here. So you get a bunch of mesh variants for the ears, for the bow ties. You get ribbons in the hair, that type of things. Different materials you can apply, that sort of stuff. Okay, back to frames. Back to frames and Jedi's question. Jedi's asking, hey, what do we need for the Kickstarter? Okay, for when we do the Kickstarter, it's going to be the playable mock-up with the light, medium, and heavy frames and a thumper encounter. It's going to be a gameplay movie, which is really, well, it's an in-engine movie that's going to show you aspects of the game that we can't show you yet. Things like kaiju, stomping on bases, things like, Tsihu invading en masse, that sort of stuff. That's what you're going to see in the movie. And then we're going to have new backer packs. So there'll be a completely new round of backer packs, and the old ones will be retired. The newcomer packs, 30 days before the Kickstarter starts, we will announce that the backer packs are going away, and they will go away forever. Every milestone has unique rewards to it and unique skins. So as we fund additional features, as we fund additional milestones of the game, there are unique perks with each of those. So you can expect a whole new set of packs. As far as how comprehensive the slice of the game will be, remember that the original goal was just a single-player a single-player medium frame in a thumper encounter, and we now have 100-player multiplayer in a bigger map with light frames and heavy frames as well. And I think that's where we're going to stop, right there. So that is, we obviously can't finish the whole game and demo the whole game, or else we would, and then we wouldn't even need crowdfunding. But that's what we're going to have for the playable mockup. And the rest of it has got to be in the movie. So the movie is going to imply all the other gameplay that doesn't exist yet, and talks about the world conquest system, talks about the one grand unified server system, talks about the crafting focus and the sandbox focus of the gameplay. All right, hope that answers your question, Jedi. Medium frame. So the medium frame, as you can see, is tighter around the character. We got rid of the head and we moved it to a sensor dish behind the head. And this allows us to make just something more compact, right? And I think this shows off the character better too, because I really wanted to show off the character. There's going to be an optional hard driver mode for the medium frame. That means you can run the frame fully in case. There will be a front bit of armor so that if you don't want to run with your character exposed, you can fully encase your character and not see your character while you're going around. All right, in addition to the medium frame, and this is all stuff that we're pivoting towards, so all the work is going to frames now. You know what? I get in trouble every time I say that, because obviously we're still going to do waifu, right? I told you we had the bunny, but the bunny was the last sort of major sequencer production. We were using it to really get familiar with. We were having too much fun. In fact, probably too much fun. I think we put a lot of effort into learning the sequencer tools, learning the things we needed to do to make the Kickstarter movie, and we kind of went. I'll admit we kind of went overboard on the bunny, but hopefully you guys like it and enjoy it, and that's good for you guys. Plus, it lets us experiment with emotes. All right, so the medium frame also has a hard driver mode, which can run fully encased, and this is sort of a close-up of that. And then you get to the bigger version, which is the heavy. And the heavy frame is much larger. It's about Titanfall 2 sized. And it has it has a variant where it comes with a shield, right? And the idea is that we're going to try to get it to shield surf. So basically, if you've ever seen Eureka 7 or anything like that, the idea is that instead of them gliding, they hop on their shield and they shield surf around the skies. And of course, this is a little bit more of a heavier variant. You've got heavy armaments on here and things like that. All right, so for those of you who are having trouble resubscribing, that should be fixed in just about a minute. We are deploying a fix for that right now, I'm being told. I'm getting a message in from Miss Amelia, our intrepid web programmer, who is getting that working for you guys right now. So thank you for reporting that. All right, and then this is the heavy frame. So you can see all the stuff we've done with the heavy frame. This is all becoming reality thanks to you guys. 1,553 subs. Hopefully we get that number up even higher. 1,750. I think we'll get the bike in there. We have modeled the high poly bike. We could keep it nanite, save ourselves a step, and get some physics in there and start playing around with bike stuff. At 1,750. And that does benefit M3 backers. Speaking of which, this would be a really good time to do an M3 backer reward thanks to Maven and the packs that he has purchased for these raffles. Ronan, why don't we do $3 packs?
Yo, we're about to do some dollar packs. Who still needs access to M3? For those who don't know, M3 is a reference to Milestone 3. You see, back in the day, we had this thing called Milestone 3. It was a funding round for Ember. And during that time, we had, let's put it like this. We decided we were going to offer some stretch goals, okay? We were like, let's give some stretch goals to get more people to come in here and and sign up. But let's make it where you can get access to stretch goals for just a single dollar. Just a single dollar put in, and you get access to stretch goals. Well, the thing is, the stretch goals, well, at first we were like, yeah, if we break this around, we'll add this much. We'll add these little items. And you guys crushed it. And then we thought, okay, if we break the next level, we'll add these items. And you guys crushed it. And that happened over and over and over again until we had a ton of stretch goals that you get access to just for a single dollar, provided you have access to the game. So, Faye, if you have a chance, if you could post what people get for a single dollar so they can check it out.
All right, here it comes.
There it is. So check that out. If you're part of the Dollar Club, you get access to all that stuff as long as you have access to the game. So the thing is, Milestone 3, well, that was a while ago. It's gone. It's kaput. It is bye-bye. You can't get access to it unless, of course, you win one. You see, back then, one of our awesome community members, he got a ton of these dollar packs that could be given out later. And that's what we're about to do now for those who win a raffle. So if you get a dollar pack from this raffle, you get all that stuff. Now, I know, let's see here. I see we have a few people who don't have an M3 yet. Excellent. Excellent. And a couple of people who didn't even know it was a thing. Well, now you do. All right. So because there might be some new people who've never done a raffle here with us before, we're going to do a test raffle to make sure you know how they work. Now, what you're going to see is you're going to see a sentence from Faye, our community coordinator. Underneath that, you're going to see a sentence from Ember Bot, our resident bot. Underneath that, you'll see an emoji. It'll be a notepad with a pencil on it. And you're going to want to click on that emoji. It puts you in the running for the raffle. Okay? That's what you're going to want to do. Now, don't click it twice because it'll take you out. Don't do that. You'll know that you're in because it will be blue. And just as a quick reminder, when raffles are running, please don't post anything. Give everybody a chance to see it. But again, first up, we're going to do a test raffle to make sure everybody knows how they work. So Faye, take it away.
All right, everybody ready? Get ready to click. On your mark, get set, go.
That's right, folks. This is for the test raffle. Over the months, we've had a few people actually win both the test raffle and the real raffle. So it's just like super good luck. Amit, you won Faye's thanks. Congratulations. And Grums, I see we have another request for like some kind of Power Ranger Voltron style combined frame.
I have a condition on that. We can build a Voltron style frame, but each of you only get to control that body part, so it operates like QWOP. Do you guys remember QWOP? Good luck coordinating that on even with Discord voice. I think that
Awesome.
would be hilarious. It's like, yeah, you can combine, but the controls are a little iffy.
Excellent. All right, let's do the actual dollar packs now. We're going to basically rifle them off relatively quickly, about 30 seconds in between each one. Faye, when you're ready, begin the shootout.
All right, I think we'll give folks just another few minutes here. I see some new people showing up.
Someone
Not in
said
here, you
QWOP
better
sounds
hurry.
like the new Nicki Minaj song.
Kinda. Can we get a Faye's thanks decal in game later? Well, I think that's a great idea.
All right, everybody here that's going to be here, on your marks, get set, click.
What you're seeing on screen now is the art redo of the Tsihu enemy. This is the invading force that you're fighting, and instead of tanks and planes, they have giant kaiju as their siege weapons.
Only 60 people want a $1 club pack? Come on now. Have you seen all the goodies in that pack? And if you upgrade, you get the single-seater Python bike skin. Hey, Freelanders, congratulations. All right, are we doing 3 of these?
We are.
All right, everybody ready for the next one? On your marks. Get set. Click. Red Simon, congratulations. We've got one more. Are y'all ready? Get ready to click your mouse. On your mark. Get set. Click. And the winner is Salty. Congratulations. You won a $1 pack.
See, you still have that good luck there, Salty. Remember, folks, after you win, what you're going to want to do is send me a direct message right away, letting me know that you won a $1 pack. And of course, give me your Ember ID that you used on myember.com. All right, Grumps, we're done. Back to you.
Awesome. No, the Valkyr skin doesn't have a render, but you get it for free when you sign up to the website. It costs nothing, and you get a wonderful skin that some people say is 40K inspired, but I would never say such a thing. And some people are asking, so I was rotating through the movies, right? So I was playing the Bunny movie here, which is our new skin that's Peerless skin that's up in the general store. And then I was playing, you know, obviously the Neko one. We were doing some of that. And then I went ahead and I switched to the Tsihu. And people were like, "What's that?" Like, "This is your latest waifu." No, it's not.
no.
It's not your latest waifu. This is the enemy unit. We have them in game, but we did an art pass on them, and we sort of updated them and reimagined them. And yeah, now everybody wants to see who has a skin, as a husbando, or we have to lewd the Tsihu now to make it a waifu skin. This is the Tsihu. This is the enemy units that are you're up against, and they use giant kaiju as their war machines. And their technology is based off of harnessing these power crystals that they find along the world that sound like crystal, but aren't really that at all. And this is sort of like the reading. We also showed a stream where Harry went over a bunch of the animation stuff that he's been doing on them, showing off the great animations that our animator has been doing, as well as the technology that he's been putting into making their feet move correctly across the terrain and things like that. And we also have recently, thanks to Ricardo, we have all the jewelry bits dangling and the cloth simulated. So the skirt around him is fully simulated. And by the way, all these renders are right out of engine. We just take them right out of Unreal 5. Now, this is their cinematic quality levels, right? We boost all the quality levels. But I'm pretty impressed with the render quality of Unreal 5 and their Lumen lighting engine. And nanite. That terrain he's standing on is nanite. It's a piece of nanite rock. And I got to say that the looks we're getting out of this is great. And we're just going to keep an eye on performance. We definitely want to make sure that things are performant because, as you know, it's impossible to get a graphics card. I was talking to NVIDIA and AMD just this morning. I was like, "Is there a way we could buy cards direct from you?" And they're like, "No." And they said, and you know what they did? They introduced me to their tier 1 PC builders and said, "Your best bet is to order one from these guys and maybe we can get you a discount and then take the cards out and sell the PCs." Seriously. We haven't gotten like a sample card from our vendors in almost a year now. It's been that bad. The supply is really low. They used to hand these cards out a lot. Like we would have no problems getting the graphics cards we needed. But now they're like, yeah, you're going to have to buy a PC and take the card out if you want the actual, not pay an arm and a leg for it. So obviously, it's very important to us to be performant. And with our nanite test on terrain, that wasn't working out for us. We're not going to do nanite on terrain. We're now going to test it out on frames. So I just want to put that out there. All right, we were talking about frames. We've gone through light, medium, and heavy. I was going to show you guys a couple more things before we end the stream today. It's going to be a little bit of a short stream. But we have the light, medium, and heavy. And we have some other stuff coming. Let me show you. Okay, so post-lunch. Remember that during these invasions, so the way the game works is it's a colonization game. You're going out, you're claiming territory, you're mining for resources, and you're using this to build and craft everything that you see in the world. And that's one aspect of the game. The other aspect of the game is the bases that you have built, along with everybody else, are subject to invasion and attacked by the invading Tsihu forces, right? These guys, right? And they come in mass and they try to mess your stuff up. and you have to sort of like all get together and fight against them. And when that happens, the zone goes into what's called invasion mode. And when the zone is in invasion mode, different weapons get authorized for you to use that aren't normally available, including things like aircraft. So this is the hovercopter, and this is a type of vehicle, and this is a post-launch DLC feature that we would like to crowdfund, right? So this would not be the launch set. This is not the initial set. The initial set's really about the 3 major frames, the thumping and the base building, and the invasion system 1.0, which is just max. And then what's coming later is that we would like to have additional rounds of feature-based funding, crowd-based funding, where we enable different things like, hey, do you guys want to see a hovercopter in the game as something that's usable during invasions? And then we would go off and we would have a crowdfunding milestone just for that. And it would have unique backer packs, right? So if it would probably come with a custom skin for your hovercopter. Don't get me wrong. This is not selling you a spaceship, right? This is not Star Citizen. This is not only you get the hovercopter. No, this is a crowdfunding milestone to enable hovercopters as a feature for everybody. Everybody gets a hovercopter if they craft one, and the backers who crowdfund this, though, they will get special perks like special skins, decals, and things like that, but no power. Yeah, you can fly this thing in game is the eventual plan. Is that after the launch of the game, the initial set, we would like to do additional vehicles, and this would be like a mini milestone fundraiser that we would do. It's like, okay, let's have air combat. Let's put these in the game, and we would say this is an unlock for everybody. If we can get enough crowdfunding, this is a feature that everybody gets, and then you can go craft a hovercopter in the game. This is the way that our milestone and feature-based funding is going to work on a continuous basis, even past the Kickstarter. All right, so I'm just explaining how it works. And we've been doing this model already up to now. All right. The other thing that people haven't seen is the tank walker. Some of you haven't seen that yet. This would be another mini feature-based goal. We would say, hey, we would like to get the tank walker into the game for everybody. So we're going to have a crowdfunding session for here to get this activated during invasions. Again, this would be something else that's available during invasions that you can deploy. Remember, our battles are eventually supposed to be quite like PlanetSide 2 in nature for the invasion parts of the game, right? And so there's the tank that you were asking for, exactly. And it has a siege mode, which it goes into walker form, and the guns split and deploy, and things like that. All right. So, how many of you haven't seen this stuff yet? How many of you haven't seen the tank yet? Waiting for it. A couple of you. Okay, a couple of you haven't seen it. Yep. So there's stuff like that coming down the pipe. And I'm just giving you, I said the waifus are done. The focus on the waifus and the characters, we got them in the can. The husbando we also have ready to be rigged and put into the game. I've shown that on other streams, earlier streams. And now we're focusing on the hard tech, starting with the frames. All right, so the other thing that I talked about is I mentioned 2 types of gameplay. One is where we have, the sort of like crafting and exploration thing where you're going out and you're thumping and you're gathering minerals. Linux won't be directly supported, but we are going to try to be, Proton compatible, some layer out there. There's actually a Red Hat engineer that's a fan of the game and a backer of the game, and he's been doing ports of the game to Linux. Not ports, but he's been getting it to run on Linux. So I know it's possible, and I'm sure I'm going to be having more conversations with him in the future about it. All right. So, does he work at Valve? No, he works at Red Hat. All right. So I was talking about the 2 main phases that are planned for the initial launch of the game, which is basically there is the exploration, resource gathering aspect and crafting aspect where you're building frames, you're building weapons, you're building bases. And then there's the invasion, the warfare fronts that are happening throughout the world as territory is won and lost as the players unite to battle against the Tsihu and their kaiju. The thing that links both of that gameplay together is that you can ferry resources that you're thumping in the non-invasion zones and get them over to the invasion zones. And we're thinking about making that a sort of a playable aspect, sort of minigame. And not a minigame, but an actual thing you do. You would have to convoy resources into enemy zones. And to do that, you would use what I call the space truck. It doesn't really fly, doesn't really go into space or anything. It is a ground-based truck. But we recently got all the full-color images finally rendered for that, and I'd like to share that with you today. Would you like to see that? The space truck and stuff? All right. A lot of you have already seen the black and white concepts for this. I did show some of the color stuff, but not all of them. And by the way, what you're seeing is Marigold. It's $1 right now in our subscription program. Resubscription works now. I apologize for that. So if you wanted to resubscribe, you can get this for $1 right away. And let's go ahead to the space truck. Okay, so this is what you would use to convoy resources from non-invasion zones to invasion zones. So they don't actually go into space. I just call it space trucking. I think I call it space trucking because there was an old, very old Sega CD game called Tully Bodine and the space. It was a literal space trucking game. I can't remember the name of it, but it was awful. It was a full motion game. They filmed actors, and then there were like quick time events. You'd push buttons, and then they play different videos. But anyways, that's where I get it from. So the idea is that players would convoy this stuff. But I wanted to take it a step further. As you know, I do play Star Citizen, and while I think it's not really a game, I can say that it's definitely an experience. And one thing that opened my eyes was how cool it was to have fully modeled interiors that you could walk around these things. So what I would love to do, and again, this would be like a DLC goal, that type of thing, a feature funding goal, is to get space trucking in here and to do it in a way that we have a real immersiveness to it, that you can actually walk around in the interiors of these things. And so, basically, I want to show you that, hey, there would be a full cockpit, right? So up to 3 players could be in this thing. You could get in this thing and you could pilot it around. You can, man the turrets. You can do the debris gun in front. There is actual gun in front for clearing debris and things like that. So this is the first time I think we've shown the full color version of the interior that we're planning for the space truck. We really need a better name than space truck. Maybe we need another contest for that or something. Not only that, there's also an engine room. So if you take the lift down, there's an actual engine room area here. I don't know what the purpose of this would be yet, right? And I suspect Star Citizen started the same way. It's like, let's just make interiors and then we'll figure out the purpose later. No, don't worry. Before we ever do this as a crowdfunded feature, I will tell you what it does and how it works. All right. Not only that, but we have a break room. So there's an area where you can kind of hang out here, just to make it feel more lived in and more believable. And remember, you're driving across vast terrain. The zones are big in Em8er. We have a white box back. We have prototype graphics right now in the build. So if you become a backer or if you become a monthly sub, you get to download basically a prototype where we don't have final graphics. We do have gameplay. There's gliding, jetting, abilities, guns, things like this. But everything's just sort of like boxes or untextured and that type of thing. And so this is, we have an 8-kilometer space, 8 kilometer by 8 kilometer map, and it's pretty big. So you can imagine driving this truck, fairly rapid distances. And because of the way that our dynamic encounters are planned to work, stuff would probably happen. Like you'd probably be attacked and things like this, and you'd have to fend it off as you're convoying these resources to the invasion so you can buff the players that are fighting to protect the bases that you helped build as a crafter. We also have a bed area and fully realized. So we got bunk beds, we have a shower, we have a toilet, all these things just to give you that immersive feeling. That's one thing that I got out of Star Citizen that I thought was good, was that the MMOs of the future, they're going to feel a lot more immersive. They're going to feel a lot more fleshed out as real worlds. And so that's what we'd like to move towards too. So this is, yes, this is the space truck Connie. It's a little Connie inspired. I'll admit that. Smaller than a Connie though. And then of course, it's got a lift to bring you up in it, and it has at least one trailer. I think you can convoy up to 2 trailers of resources in them. And this should be a very immersive feeling in the world as you convoy these resources around. And you'd have to craft one of these too, right? You're not just gonna be able to spawn one in. Somebody's gonna have to actually gather the mats and build one of these things. So I think the gameplay loop, I'm very happy with the way it's coming together. I'm going to be revealing more details about how the frames work. I have some interesting things planned for that. I have some interesting things planned for thumping going forward, and we're going to be talking about that in future streams. Expect the next couple of streams to be fairly light because we're kind of in heads down mode, working on some new stuff as we make this pivot to frames. So please bear with us. I might even bring it back to every other week, or I'm not sure. I mean, the weekly stuff is good, right? Like the algorithm likes it when you stream regularly. But just expect the streams to be a little on the lighter side, more Chief Chat stuff, more raffle stuff as we go heads down mode here. We're gonna disappear for a little while, not show you what we're working on yet because we're doing a bunch of stuff that we hope to show you in about 4 to 6 weeks here. And let's see. So were industrial non-combat frames ever discussed, Netherdawn? Yeah, we talked about roles. We talked about non-combat roles and how I'd like to see more non-combat roles available in Em8er. And again, I think, I don't want to, these Kickstarters that promise you everything in the world and then only deliver a tenth of it, I don't want to end up in that situation. So the way we approached it is we decided to break up the funding into chunks. And so non-combat roles, that would be a chunk. Right, so we would put that out there, and people would vote with their dollars. If they really wanted that feature, it would get funded, and then we would go and say, okay, we have the budget to implement this now. If it doesn't get funded, we know we probably shouldn't do it. So it kind of helps, right? And no one gets charged. So I think that really helps sort of guide our development and put the focus where it needs to be, because you guys are in the driver's seat, in effect, with a milestone-based system. Are there going to be storage character rooms for the mechs? Do you mean on the truck itself? Yeah, there's actually a concept version I have with docking bays on one of the trailers so you could cart frames around. But remember, you have dropships too. And the dropships will eventually get interiors as well. Light frames are planned to have a form of wall running. I call it kaiju running because I actually want you to be able to run along and on top of the kaiju. So that's something I hope, and Harry's probably pulling his hair out because that's a lot of work, but I'd like to get that up and running. Assless Chaps Jedi, I'm sorry, man. I gave you Jiggle today, though. We have Mega Jiggle. It is playable first and third person. When you're in I want to do a transition. So if you get into a heavy mech, or if you get into a mode where you're entering this vehicle, I think it's got to transition probably to first person to be workable. Third person could be an option, but the camera's going to get pretty janky in there with an interior. I mean, Star Citizen lets you do it, and it is pretty janky in third person when you get into a spacecraft, depending on the spacecraft. Some of them are huge, right? Do I have a scale? Octanoozle asks, do I have a scale reference of how big a kaiju is compared to a frame? I do not. And I would be lying because I actually done it myself in game. Not one I can share. How about that? We're still working out the scale. They're planned to be pretty big though. I want something that's kaiju sized. What's been the most difficult thing you've encountered during development of Em8er so far? I think the hardest thing has been just, with a part-time team, making as much progress as we want to fast enough. and it's really like it would be really good to get to the Kickstarter right away so we could fund a full-time team. And I think being part-time has been very challenging, especially when COVID hit. That was another challenging time. A lot of us, the whole world was running around prepping for COVID and trying to take care of that. That really, and personally to me, that took a lot of my time and focus away. It's like I had, to attend to my family. We were moving at the time, all this sort of stuff. It was very, very draining to have to deal with COVID at the time when we didn't know anything about it. We didn't know how dangerous it was or how non-dangerous it was. We didn't know what precautions worked and what didn't. Things like this. What about doing the interior like Warframe? Tomix asks. They made their interior outside of the map and just tell. No, you ain't. No, Tomix, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing Elite Dangerous. I ain't doing Warframe. You are going to get in this vehicle. I fully believe in that full immersion factor. You're not going to teleport into the vehicle. Nope. Sorry. That's I say that like it's a bad thing. It's actually a cool thing. It's actually very cool that you pull down a platform, you get into the platform, and you go up into the space truck. That makes a huge difference. Star Citizen sold me on that. I mean, hey, I agree. There's not much game there, but Tomix says it's very immersive. I don't know. Have you played Star Citizen? I think that's more immersive than what they do in Warframe. And in Warframe, I don't ever feel like I'm really in my ship. I mean, yeah, I can walk around it, but docking, getting on and off, it doesn't exist, right? Same thing with Destiny. Your ship doesn't land anywhere. I think what Star Citizen calls it physicality, right? Like making things physically realized in the world. I'd like to do more of that. Maybe not as much as they do, but more of that.
When you do the thing where you teleport away from the world, basically into a ship that's somewhere else, what that also does, it gets rid of any kind of outside influence on the ship. So it always feels disconnected because it is. It always feels like it's not really happening. No matter how good the interior looks, you're obviously just not in the world. Never feels right. There could be a kaiju invasion going on outside and you'd have, no idea.
Yep. Miss says you can actually see your ship and if you sprint to the hangar. Really? I don't think I've ever seen my ship on land.
I've seen it.
I've never tried that. It does land in the hangar in the tower?
Yeah.
You just have to get there fast enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try that. I've never bothered. But okay, look, when I go to Thieves Landing and I land there, it doesn't land anywhere. You're talking about the tower, right?
Definitely the tower. I forget about the other places. I don't know if I've looked as much there.
Yeah, Dying Reapers. Basher says, Dying Reapers banging on the door of your ship, me sipping a tea. Willie hears you. Willie don't care. Oh, Basher, you're going to make great friends. Maybe you'll be the only space trucker. Be like, hey, if you don't like this space trucker, you can wait for the next one, which would be about 3 weeks. Grums, the Ember cap is great. What Ember cap? We didn't make a hat. Should we make a hat? Chaz was saying something about an Ember cap. All right, guys. I promised I was going to keep this stream a little bit short. So let's review. Let's do a quick review. We talked about space trucking. We talked about how we're now pivoting the frames. And I'll go ahead and show the frames again. So thanks to you guys, we now have enough subscribers to put the 3 of them playable in-game here. Once I find them, where did the frames go? Where have all the frames gone? Okay, so we have the light. And we have the medium. And we have the heavy. These are things you can be expecting in-game. Or rather, in demo. And you can see that they're all different sizes here. So that's what you can see coming up. Of course, we are running a special on Marigold. You can sub for $1 and help us get into more subs. I'd like to get us into higher subs before Kickstarter. So far, we're doing really good with the Marigold skin. This is just $1 for a monthly patron. You also get access to builds, older builds of the game. Current backers get the latest and greatest builds of the game. And you get access to Draft Novel as we write it, Draft Tabletop, which is we've put on the back burner for now, but we will be releasing the Draft Tabletop to the monthly patrons for playtesting at some point. But right now, I'll just say it's the tabletop's probably going to be after Kickstarter for the draft rules to go to monthly patrons. And you can get Marigold for $1, and it's a peerless grade skin. And of course, we are reissuing the bunny right now. Let's go. Let's do this. If moderators can post the link, we have 3 ways to participate today in Em8er, right? So moderators, let's post the monthly subscription link because we're doing a drive for this, and we have a beautiful skin by CSR here that we want to turn into 3D as well. And this one is available for just $1. And this is a great way to get skins like the bunny skin and everything else that have been coming out. Is if you are subscribed for that month, you get the skin for that month, and it appears in your inventory system under your account in the Em8er website. So if you'd like to become a subscriber and get access to older prototype builds, and as we release new builds for the backers, you guys get one version behind. Draft chapter novels, draft tabletop rules after the Kickstarter when that's ready. You can go ahead and check that out. The link is right there in Discord and Twitch right now. And yeah, your customer service rep. Yeah, CSR stands for customer service rep. No, just kidding. It's Cute Sexy Robots on Twitter. It's a not safe for work artist. Please follow them. They do great stuff. I think CSR already has 600,000 followers or something. But please do check it out if you like the artwork and are not squeamish. The other way to support us is through newcomer packs. And newcomer packs are our funding milestone goals, like I told you about. And this one is to fund the playable mock-up that we are doing Kickstarter with. It has unique rewards, like a founder level dropship that you can't get in other packs. So these are unique grade skins, right? We talked about the different rarities, and everything in the subscription program is rare to epic. Rare to legendary. And then the unique stuff only comes in founder packs. So if you'd like access to the latest builds, if you want access to unique perks and rewards that aren't available in any other milestone, or most, some are shared, but a lot of unique stuff, then you can become a newcomer backer, and we do accept PayPal and we do accept major credit cards, and the moderators can post that link right now. And you can go and download it immediately. You can go download the prototype build. I will warn you, the graphics are prototype. They are not even textured. So we are doing a huge art pass on the game. I gave you a sneak peek of what the Tsihu will look like. We actually have these animating now. And that's another way to support our Em8er development. And this milestone goes to funding the playable mock-up, and there'll be other milestones after the Kickstarter the Kickstarter wants to start the full-time company, and then after that there'll be different ones for, like I said, the space truck and some of the other stuff that we've talked about here. All right. The third way that you can help us out is if you are already a subscriber and or if you're already a newcomer backer, maybe you don't have the bunny skin. And you can get the bunny skin at the Peerless grade today. I'll go ahead and play that video again. So with the bunny skin, you get the guitar emote, you get the serving drink emote, you get the Peerless grade options. And this is available in the general store right now. Moderators can post a direct link to that. This is in Unreal Engine 5. This is using their cinematic level settings. I want to emphasize that. This is their, when you see a cutscene in Unreal, this is what they turn on. They turn on all the bells and whistles for the rendering. But we're pretty happy with Unreal 5's rendering ability. And for the bunny, you get different mesh variants. So obviously you can, change the different colors. and you get you can have a variety of tail options. You get the little side tie that's toggleable on and off, and you get a variety of ears as well, and bow. And so you can have a bow tie, you can have a necktie, you can have this sort of mechanical tie. And right now it's all gold or all black. You're going to see that there's different coloring zones and glows and things like that that you can add to it. All this comes with the Peerless Grade skin. It's more value than anybody else gives you in a skin at this value. Valorant will sell you the color blue for $30, right? Here you get mesh variants, you get material variants, you get all sorts of stuff, and you get the emotes. You get the guitar emote and everything else that you don't get with other stuff. Okay, so you want some, let's do that. So let's post some of the concept art images into main lobby media, or should I do it there? Where should I do it, Faye? Should I do it direct?
I would say main lobby. Yeah.
Just do it in main lobby. Okay. Let's go ahead and show some of this. So if you are not in our Discord right now, hop on over. We are sharing the images direct there. Okay, I got tuxedo. Let's do blue. And can I share the turntable image here? Is that working? Can you hit play on that? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put the actual cinematic up in here. I know it looks like a statue that you can 3D print, right? Maybe. 3D printing has additional challenges, but because we have to split up the model and things like that, but we've done it before. Maybe we can include stuff like that in future backer packs. Let's see. We've got the mesh variants, so things like the tail and the head. And, you know, little side tie. Okay, I think that's the bunny concept art. And like I said, this game is not just about waifus. I was watching a stream the other day by, I think Asmongold was commenting on MMO and saying whenever he sees an MMO advertisement that just has a bunch of waifus on the cover, that he's not interested in it. He automatically assumes it's a low-grade MMO. And there's some truth to that, right? I mean, unless you're Genshin Impact, I guess. But, so that's why you're going to see us doing a lot more with frames. Let me share some of the other art here. So, let's see. Let me go to... Oh, I didn't share some of this stuff yet. Okay. Here's a size comparison of the frames. And actually, the heavy is going to be a little bit larger than that. And for those of you who want to see what the new medium is going to look like, that's what it looks like. And then we have different styles. So some of these were skins in the monthly patron program. These are strange looking waifus. Well, here, have this. This is a blend between the two. Now, I believe the one on the left was a monthly patron reward, and the one on the right we haven't shown yet. It's a variant skin. We don't know if we're going to build it. And what I haven't shown you, I'm not going to show you this one yet. Sorry. Got to save some stuff. Can't spill all the beans. Let's see. If you want to see how we do translating our concept art from concept art to fully rendered in Marmoset to rendered in real time in Unreal 5, not. I don't know what Un3 is. You can see the comparison here between the three. So the first image is CSR's concept, right? And don't worry, cat's coming. Everyone asked me about the cat. Second image is what you would get out of Blender or something like that. We use Marmoset and ray tracing for that in Marmoset with RTX actually. And then the Unreal version is all the way on the right. So you can see, I think we do a pretty faithful job there at going from concept to fully realized. I'm going to share some of the let's see who art we do in progress. And for those of you on Twitch, you can hop over to our Discord channel and check it out. And then we got like what I call the boy band image of the See Who. And I'll upload the movie here. Yeah, I know, Nautical. We need boy band posters of the See Who. You can play that. We got tons of images here. All right, I know you guys have wanted. This has been a request to get the images of the truck, so I'll share them here now. So, space truck coming up. So that's the rover. And again, the goal, and this is going to have to be a funding goal. It's not easy to build this thing. We'll do a separate funding goal for space trucking. It's a feature. We're gonna break the milestones off into smaller pieces. Obviously, this one has taken a long time, so I think it makes a lot more sense for us to have more individual, smaller funding rounds. Not necessarily smaller, but individual rounds, right? For different specific features of the game, and then we deliver on them. And we can work on them in parallel too, so we might have like a couple of these going at a time. All right, so you finally have the full color renders of the space truck. Let's see, what else do I have here that you guys don't have yet? Anything I'm missing that you guys have wanted a render of? That's one scary bunny. You're no Daisy. I don't know what you're referring to. Kaiju in bunny suits. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a request for that. The render that I couldn't show you 3 minutes back. Sorry. You almost got me. Show me the tail. Oh, if you're subscribing, we don't actually... Credit card's all you need with Stripe. We don't use PayPal. Or are you saying you... So you should have been able to sub. Because the subscriptions for $1 are done via Stripe. They're done with credit cards, not through PayPal. And I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. You guys blasted through that 1,500 goal. 1553. Marigold has been a tremendous skin for us this month. CSR did a bang-up job on that. Our customer support, I love that. Our customer support rep, waifu artist. Yes, Giga, Marigod. All-star waifu skin. How many of you guys want to see Marigold in 3D? Like sooner rather than later. Yeah, I know, right? It's a good one. The Felly's going to be in there. The Felly's modeled, Zingo, so Felly's going in. All right, everybody. That wraps up this Chief Chat. We're coming up on the hour. Thank you so much again. Thank you, CSR, for the the best waifu skin we've had so far, I think, for Ember. Wanted to thank all the artists who've worked so hard on, working on Sequencer, working on movies. Ezreal, go ahead, ask your last question. I'm listening. Thanks to Harry for putting in all the effort on the Tsihu animation system for the new Tsihu guys that we have coming up here.